Hello, welcome back to Three Talking Rabbits. Today is going to be a parchment or vellum making day, so if you don't want to see dead animal bits, don't watch this video. Alright? I am alone. I am wearing a mask because I have found that the masks cut my cold weather asthma like magic. And it's a little chilly out today. When it's under 40, I've been wearing a mask outside, and then when I come back inside, I don't have an hour-long asthma attack. It's awesome. So, the other benefit I found to wearing masks while working on hides is that I don't get hide zombie goo in my mouth. The glasses steam up. So, in the future, when I do parchment and vellum classes, I will be wearing a mask and I will have them available to my students. I'm going to cut here, and you've been warned that there are dead animal bits in this video. If you don't want to see them, don't watch this video, okay? Okay, this is the first part of what I do to process the calf hides into vellum. These are bob calves bought at auction. My friend buys them to feed his dog, and then I pay him for the hides, which pays for the dog feed. So it works out great for both of us. And because they're bob calves, chances are they are not going to have a very long life anyway. Here we go. So when the hides come, they're just straight off the animal, and they've got all sorts of bits on them and that I don't use for parchment or for vellum. Actually, veal calf is vellum. So this is actually vellum, not parchment. And I've already trimmed these, but I wanted to show when you get a hide, it should be folded in half along the spine line, but not, it won't always be. Sometimes they're just crumpled up in there. And he freezes them for me. We're going to have chicken help. They love the hides. And I've already trimmed this, but what I do is I line it up with the spine line going this way on my little bathtub here. Little broken bathtub surround. And then if there are legs coming out or whatever, I trim those off. So like if there's a big tail coming off, I'll trim the tail off. And it just gets everything into a relatively square format. Then I'm going to take this over to my flushing beam. So PVC pipe, flushing beam, draw knife. Naturally I forgot my apron. That's okay. I got one down here. I actually bought a fancy apron for this. This is just a tablecloth, but that's all right. Okay. So I'm just going to tuck that so that it's not up against my clothes. And yes, I see you, Anna. You'll get some. And calf is like slippery rubber bands. Yes, here, you want this? There you go, good girl. Careful, don't fall. When the chickens realize I'm here, they're like, happy birthday to us, treats. They love them, which is fine by me. Now, I like to do these a day after they come. Oh, we got more. Miss Petunia's coming. She heard there was beef. I like to do these a day after I get them. This is actually 3 days. Anna likes to take the little chunks right out of my hand. Oh, here's a Betty Boo. Betty. Betty, Betty. I spend a lot of time giving, here, do you want this? Take that. There you go. Good girl. I spend a lot of time giving treats to chickens. Now, if you have a machine that will do cowhide, I would recommend using the machine because this is a pain in the butt. I'm not kidding when I say it's like rubber bands. Sheep, the epithelial comes off very easily. Deer, it comes off fairly easily. Calf fights you the entire way. Chuck, chuck. I'm really having a hard time getting even into that area right now. There we go. Unfortunately, the hide has sat out for 3 days, and as they dry, they get tougher. This is actually suitable for right now. I don't want to put this in lime like this. I want to salt it, get that stuff out by the salt, rehydrate it, rinse it in water. This should come out and not stain, in theory. I waste a lot of time doing this. Okay, knife cuts on calves, like the one that's right here and right here, right here, there and there, don't seem to be as big of a deal in the finished parchment as in like a sheep or a deer. They seem to come away much easier because there's a lot more material. I just wanted to mention that, but you still have to take care when you're fleshing to not come at it the same direction. You want to go perpendicular to that knife cut so that it doesn't open that hole up more. Okay, so this is something kind of cool. This is urethra and umbilical cord attachment right there and right there, which is pretty neat. That gets cut off. I don't mess with those things. For the calves, I want to mark their spine. So I hold them up, facing me, not facing you, and figure out where the spine line is. In this case, I'm right here for the tail, and pretty sure right here. Okay, nope, this is the neck right here. This is the tail right here. So the calf is folded in half, just like that. Halfway there and there. Unfold. And mark with twine. I've got a nice hole there already, so I'm just going to use it. I'll cut that off at some point. Coming in about an inch. So I've marked my head, or neck and tail. Head's gone. One thing to note, I cut the majority of the necks off the calves. They're ridiculously thick and tough. Not really good for parchment, and I found that I have a hard time getting the hole punch through them. I think I've mentioned before that I have joint issues and my wrists are very weak, and I can't injure myself for something. Salt is cheap. This is mixing fine. I sent a sheep to a friend, so I opened the one bag and I left it in the garage rather than in the pole barn, and the garage is a lot more damp than the pole barn, and it's just not good. But it doesn't hurt the salt. It's okay if it's chunky. It'll still do its job. Load it up right there. And the idea is just to get it to coat this side. And if you have to, bring it over like this and hit this up again. See, this wants to fold right here. You've got to open that up. And don't be shy with the salt. The fun thing is, if you really want to, you can reuse it. And I do shake the salt off the hides before I rinse them. And I actually do reuse it. It's not easy to reuse it, but I have a reserve in case I run out. You know, I'd rather use new, but if I have to, I'm not ashamed to do that. And it's 30 miles there and back to get to the feed store that sells the stuff, so. If I get a bunch of hides in, I'd rather have them taken care of. Anything that's bloody like this, I would prefer to rinse. But we've put the hoses in for the year. Okay? And when you set it in, make sure that that is well distributed, not all clumped up, that this sits mostly flat. Because that's going to help you later. Animals aren't flat, but we can sort of flatten them out a little. It's better than having a big wrinkle. And if this is clean and dry, you really don't have to salt that side. But they've got gook on them. So anything with gook I salt because that's going to attract bugs. This has been sitting here for a couple hours. It has sweated into the salt. The salt is attached to the hide. So we're going to fold up our little bob calf. All nice and neat. Just like that. Pop them in the barrel. I'm putting this over the top of the fur. Not that there should be bugs in January, but there have been bugs in January. And that just deters bugs. That's it. And that's it for now.